Hi there. Welcome to my short mini series on how to create digital stencils using Photoshop. Here you'll notice that I've kind of broken down the process for a class into some smaller segments that just basically summarize the different steps that we took to create digital stencils based off the images that we used in class. Now, as a disclaimer, I want to kind of warn people that might come across this on the internet. This is not necessarily the most intuitive way to do some of these steps. This is just a practice that I use in my classroom using Photoshop. There are many different ways to do this. However, the students' needs in my classes are a little bit different, a little bit more discreet in some cases, a little bit more needy in others. And this is the best way that you can go about following the procedures on some of these steps put together as fast as I possibly can. So let's get started with the first step, which is simply taking the background out of an image so that all you have is the foreground or the character or subject. And in this case, we've got my little Lego Batman character that I downloaded from the internet, saved it to my computer, and then went into Photoshop and did a very quick file open and brought him in here. And as you can see, I've got my Lego Batman black character all over the place with a yellow studded background. First step that I'm going to go into is obviously the direct selection tool. This little guy that looks like a paintbrush with a dotted oval symbol directly around it, or the quick selection tool. This will allow me to make a selection of certain areas and pixels that I feel either I want to hold on to or ones later on that I want to get rid of. And you'll notice that it looks like a little circle with a plus symbol. You're going to go in and start clicking the areas that you wish to try and select. In this case, you're going to go in and select the Lego Batman character, making sure that the only thing that is selected is the actual black area and nothing involving the background. Now you're going to want to be careful here and notice that you have some dotted marching lines that are going to kind of wrap around the actual figure, and that's good because that shows us that this is the area that is selected. But in some cases you might accidentally make a mistake and click on an area, like for example I just did here, that accidentally gets a little bit of the background that you're trying to get rid of. In the case that you accidentally select something that you don't want to select, you can simply hold down the Alt or Option key, and you can see on my screen the little circle turns to a minus sign, and holding that key down, go back and unselect or click that area, and that'll disappear and go away and go back to where it originally was. Holding the Alt or Option key toggles between selecting and unselecting using the quick selection tool, and it comes in really handy as a short hack or a shortcut in regards to making a selection. Now, because what I want to do in this image is get rid of the background, I have to tell the computer a little bit more information. Again, there's lots of different ways to do this, but the way that I found that works the best for this image is simply now going up to the top of the screen where it says select, and then clicking on the inverse button, which basically is a fancy way of saying select the opposite. And now that instead of it being selected just on the character, I've got the whole outside border area selected, I can simply click the delete button or press the delete button, and I'll get a menu here that tells me or asks me what would you like us to put and fill in that area once we get rid of it. You can notice in this drop-down menu that you have a wealth of different options. I like to tell everybody in our art class just to select white because we're very used to seeing white as a background color on pieces of paper. So once you got that selection made, you can click OK. And as you can see, you now have the background deleted or replaced with the color white. Check out the next series of videos where I show you guys exactly how you can go in and create multiple layers and then fill those layers with different colors, in essence creating a multi-color stencil. See ya.